Well, number one, all the guys that answer the phone have been in the wheel business for a number of years, and we're all car guys. You call so many catalog places and these people don't even know what a car is, let alone wheels. I started in 1973 building 8-spoke white wheels. And then I was building a lot of generic stuff for different wholesalers. I did that for a number of years. And in about 1990, I think it was 92, I bought a new Chevrolet pickup truck, and I took some smoothies and I modified some 52 Chevy passenger car hubcaps and put on the pickup, and it was lowered and all that jazz. And people started stopping me going, hey, where'd you get the wheels? Where'd you get the wheels? So I figured, why don't I start making some of these wheels? So we decided that, hey, what we do is we have to build these wheels tailor-made for the car. So we come up with a fitment guide and have people measure them, and we started building wheels that fit each individual car because all the cars are different. Everybody could have a 32 Ford, but they all don't have the same rear end and the same front end, same brakes. So we built them custom to fit the guy's car. And when I first started, people said, you won't be able to sell that stuff. And look who we are now, you know. I used to be a big catalog company years ago, not under the Wheelsmith name. I used to build 1,000 wheels a day when we were building 8-spoke white wheels and chrome wheels, but it's just a generic part that you can buy at Pep Boys now. In those days, you couldn't. When I first started, I was building for large wholesalers. No, there's no passion in that. The wheel business got down to the point where everybody was buying price and you're building per price, and you got to build, you're just building hundreds and hundreds of wheels and having to deal with collecting the money from different wholesalers and doing all this. It just took the fun out of it. I've always been into hot rods, been playing with hot rods all my life, and building wheels for hot rods is fun. I enjoy coming to work because you're talking to new people every day, new problems every day as far as fitment and all this kind of stuff. Or a guy will call you and say, hey, I've got a 40 Ford, blah, blah, you know, and it just, you get these pictures, these cars in your mind, and it's just fun talking to these people. I talk to people all over the world. Well, the thing is, people would call and want wheels, and then we ask a lot of questions, and sometimes the guy's mind would change in the sense of what type of wheels he wants or what size of wheels he wants by some of the questions we ask. And the most important thing is to make sure when the customer gets the wheels, it's really what he wants. It's like buying a tailor-made suit. You know, you can buy stuff off the rack and it'll fit, but if you want it to fit right, you have to have it made to fit the vehicle. Well, we have a small team. I've been a car guy since I was 15 years old. Terry, that answers the phone and is a salesman, he's been in the car business or the wheel business forever, and so is Rex, and we're all car guys. We write the orders and give it to our guys in the shop, and all the guys in the shop have been here for a long time, and they're all professionals, and they work off of each individual order. When we write an order, we take it out and give it to our production guys, and they build every wheel off of that particular order. And other companies, I'm sure, just go pull stuff off the shelf and they build generic sizes and stuff like that, but it doesn't work every time. So we take the extra time. If we were a giant company, we couldn't do that. Saves money.
And
I mean, that's
customer.
it. That's it, isn't it? If I build a set of wheels and send them to New York and they're not right, I've got to take them back and build a guy another set of wheels. That means that the next 4, 5, 6 sets of wheels I build are making up for the money I lost on that one. Most of the time it's the customer, or we didn't ask them enough questions, or they didn't understand what we were trying to figure out. And if a guy calls and say, you know, Bob, I bought these wheels and I made a mistake, see, I'll take those back because the guy's not calling and ragging on my ass saying, oh, you screwed up. I mean, obviously everybody screws up, but we're trying to eliminate any possibility of screwing up, you know. Probably the biggest mistake, they'll call up and say, listen, I want such and such a size with such and such a backspace. And I would say 7 times out of 10, if you sent them those wheels, they wouldn't fit or the guy wouldn't be happy. That's why we like people to call us and we have a chance to talk about their car, what they want the car to look like, how they want how the fit to be, what kind of tires they're going to put on it, and what size tires. There's a lot of variables. You know, it's just not a matter of calling and buying wheels off a shelf. You can do that, but these cars are all different. Oh, I get those kind of calls all the time. You know, I saw this car in a magazine, I want wheels just like it. Well, is there any modification to that car? Well, I don't know. Does it have the same rear end in it? I don't know. Call a guy, will call and say, I've got a 55 Ford 2-door hardtop and I want to put 15 by 10s in the back because I saw a car with 15 by 10s. Well, did you tub your car? Did you modify the rear end? Blah, blah. There's a lot of variations. That's why we like people to call us and we can figure out exactly what's going to fit the car. So the customer doesn't make a mistake, because if the customer makes a mistake, it's going to be my fault. And I don't want that. I want a guy to be happy with his wheels.
Stance and wheel and tire fitment is one of the most important things on the car. So when the deal is done, you'll be able to tell the difference between an almost good one and a good one. Customers call and think they need a certain size, and turns out it's not going to work correct on the car. So, and it happens very often.
Measurements. Measurements from the mounting surface to the fender, outside fender lip to the inside panels. If you go to our wheel fitment guide, we have the A and B measurements, and we want the measurements so we know from the mounting surface to the inside fender lip how much room you have there, and in the rear from the mounting surface to the inner panel how much room we have there, or as springs. In the front, it's basically from the mounting surface to the inside fender lip. We need to know the kind of brakes the guy has, whether disc brakes or drum brakes. And if it's brakes, we need to know sometimes the part numbers, if they're like Wellwood brakes or different types of brakes. Sometimes we need the part numbers so we know if that wheel is going to be compatible to the brakes they have on their car.
Customers don't know to ask about the brake systems, and that's a big part of trying to figure out what the wheels they're going to fit on their car properly. Well, because most guys, they're building the hot rods or something car, they change the suspension, they change the brakes, they think the bigger brakes. Even the brake manufacturers don't know what fits on what wheel, and they think they have an idea of what wheel will fit on their car. And that's probably the first thing that I'll ask them. What kind of brakes you got, disc brakes, drum brakes, how big, and then we got to go from there.
Okay.
You ask them what kind of brakes, what are their disc brakes? And then you got to pry the rest of it out of them, because in today's world there's 1,000 different brake kits out there. Well, diameter and offset of the brake caliper is what is very, very important on fitment on wheels. Most customers don't understand tires and wheels. They just got an idea in their head. They see a car and they think that's what they want to look like, and then somebody tells them, look, you need this size or you need this, and they go with that. And after you're done talking to them and you know you got the right size, the right fitment, it's rewarding.
Part of the process is go to our fitment guide and try to figure this out. And if they have any questions, they call us. We'll walk them through it. You can call and talk to us. You don't have to buy something every time you call us. We're happy to talk to people. Because we're building custom wheels for customers, for custom cars. There's no wheel that fits all. We like to talk to our customers. The most important thing is when you get your wheels, they fit and you're happy. We like happy customers. Happy customers tell people, hey, buy from these guys because they'll do a good job. It's basically 40% of the time a guy, thought he wanted to put something on his car, but it really wouldn't fit. the sale. We wouldn't take it. Because we want to make sure this stuff's going to fit. If they want to put something on a computer and order something, go somewhere else, because it's who needs the problems?
Right.
You know, we want happy customers. I know that's a new concept, but we like to have happy customers.
Well, we're going to ask them questions so that we end up with the right wheel, the right fitment, and when they order it online, they're just going to order something off the shelf.
I've been in the wheel business for 50 years, and this is probably the first job that I'm doing that is where I'm talking to so many different types of people and really enjoying what I do, talking to things. Some of the stories that I've heard from some of these guys, I mean, it's just amazing. And so I'm happy with what I'm doing. Was an old-time guy and a racer, and he said he had a car collection, and he's still building cars, but he was sick and he couldn't drive anymore, but he still had the cars and he still built them. And when I asked him, I said, "Oh, that'd be nice to see him." He said, "Oh, well, hang on," and he's probably sent me 40 pictures of cars that he's got in different things, and it was really, really neat to talk to these guys. And I've had tons of guys say, "Hey, if you're out here around this time, come by," and so it's really neat to meet these guys over the phone and stuff like that.
When I'm at a show, it's nice to meet people. I get to meet customers that have bought from me. It's rewarding being at a show and meeting people, where on the phone you're meeting them, but you're not really meeting them.
There's some times that someone come up at a show and thank us for the wheels that we've already built for them, and tell us that they're starting a new project and they definitely want our wheels on their car because they were really pleased with what they got the last time. And they'll ask about the wheels and ask for some suggestions that tell us what kind of a car they're building and what do we think will look good on there, what will fit on there, and we'll help them. We'll help them do that. We'll take the time to do that for them.
Well, you know, if a guy says he sees that one wheel, we sell them from anywhere from $14.95 to whatever, then every time he calls, he thinks everything's going to be $14.95. And there's a lot of, everything is, we have a price, but there's always variations. Whether it's going to be powder coated, whether it's going to be chrome plated.
I think that the real reason that we wouldn't do it is because of the fact that things change from one thing to another, the cost of stuff, the material, the time that it takes to do this. And if we were just to put a price, and this is a price set that we can do it, if we have to build something totally custom, it can change quite a bit.
By not publishing the prices, I think that draws people to call you. Because they see a wheel they like, they'll call, well, I don't know how much that costs, call them, and we have a chance to talk to them. And when we have a chance to talk to them, we're going to ask them some questions they probably had never thought of. And we're going to give them some alternatives they probably had never thought of. So if they just saw just prices, they'll call and phone, hey, I want to buy some 15x8s, and they're $26 or $1.50 or whatever the case may be. It's not really doing them justice. I think by having them call us, it gives us a chance to talk to the customer. And that's what we're here for. We like to talk to our customers.
When the customer sends us emails or calls up, just takes the time to call up and say thank you. And that has happened a lot with these wheels. We get a lot of customers that are really appreciating that when they got the wheels, they are so happy with them. They'll take the time to call us and say thank you, or send an email and say thank you, and they're really, really happy with their wheels. That's really a big deal for us.
We get a lot of calls from people thanking us for the wheels, and they're happy with the color, they're happy with the way it fits, they're happy with everything. And we get a lot of those calls. That's why it's most important we have happy customers, because they'll tell their friends.